Welcome and good evening, good morning, or good afternoon to you wherever you are. As I know that we have a few participants who are joining us virtually at this session from outside Canada. Today, we will be focusing on the recent announcements released by the government about traveling to, from, and within Canada. My name is Sophia, and I am an International Student Advisor, Immigration Specialist at the Simon Fraser University. I will be your main presenter today, and it is my great pleasure to be joined by my colleague, Jean, who is also an International Student Advisor, Immigration Specialist, just like myself. Jean will be moderating our Q&A session today. I'm also glad to share that we have special guests for today's session. Kelsey, who is the CARES Program Manager, and Amanda, who is the CARES Program Administrative Coordinator, are here with us today to answer any questions that you may have about the CARES Program, quarantine, and how to develop a suitable quarantine plan. They will hang around until the Q&A session today. Before moving to the agenda, I'd like to begin by respectfully acknowledging that the Simon Fraser University is located on the unceded Coast Salish territory, the traditional territories of the Musqueam, Squamish, Tsleil-Waututh, Coquitlam, and Katzie nations. I'd also like to draw your attention to the bottom part of each slide. Particularly in the context of COVID-19, immigration policies can change rapidly and without notice. Thus, the information that we share today is current as of today, December 6, 2021. So today we will be discussing the key travel updates that the Government of Canada has recently announced, namely, the expansion of accepted vaccines in Canada for purposes of traveling, the vaccination requirements for traveling to Canada before and after January 15, 2022, and upcoming changes, the vaccination requirements for traveling from and within Canada that are currently in place and after the following date, and the newest proof of vaccination developed by our federal government, the Canadian COVID-19 proof of vaccination. Later on, we will also have some updates regarding travel restrictions from certain countries and the extension of the postgrad work permit eligibility for those who are studying online from outside Canada. So currently, to be considered fully vaccinated for the purpose of traveling to, from, or within Canada, you must have completed a full course of one of the COVID-19 vaccines approved by Health Canada at least 14 full days prior to travel. Starting November 30, 2021, Canada has added the following 3 vaccines that are authorized by the World Health Organization to the list of Canada's accepted vaccines for travel purposes. These are Sinopharm, Sinovac, and Covaxin. So travelers who receive the full dose of these vaccines will be considered fully vaccinated for travel purposes. On November 30, 2021, the Government of Canada announced that the following requirements will take effect in the coming days. Fully vaccinated travelers who are arriving by air from a country other than the United States will be subject to arrival testing and will be required to quarantine while waiting for the arrival test results. On the other hand, unvaccinated travelers with right of entry to Canada and who are arriving by air will be required to stay in a designated quarantine facility or other suitable location while waiting for the arrival test results. They will also continue to be tested on arrival and day 8 and be required to quarantine for 14 days. Please note that at this time, we do not have additional information on the new testing and quarantine requirements. However, we will provide further updates on these as details are made available by the Government of Canada. We also recommend that you monitor the Government of Canada website for the most up-to-date information. International students who are traveling between now and January 14, 2022 are allowed to enter Canada regardless of vaccination status. If you do not qualify as fully vaccinated, you may be allowed to enter Canada until January 14, 2022 under the current exemption for study permit holders. However, you will be subject to quarantine, pre-arrival, and post-arrival testing requirements. Starting January 15, 2022, certain travelers, including international students who are 18 years old and above, will be required to present proof of full vaccination to enter Canada. When this change takes effect, unvaccinated or partially vaccinated students will not be permitted to enter Canada unless they qualify for limited exceptions. Some examples are written on this slide. For a full list of the exemptions, please refer to the announcement from the Government of Canada, a barcode of which is included here. You may also find this in our news and updates post available on our website. Starting November 30, 2021 at 3:01 a.m. Eastern Time, proof of full vaccination will be required to board a flight or train from and within Canada, unless you qualify for limited exceptions. Foreign nationals, including international students who do not qualify as fully vaccinated, are permitted to take a connecting flight within Canada, as long as it is scheduled to depart within 24 hours of the departure time for your originating flight to Canada, provided that you are allowed to enter Canada as an unvaccinated or partially vaccinated traveler. Foreign nationals, including international students, are allowed to depart Canada up until February 28, 2022. After this date, you will be required to be fully vaccinated to board a flight or train leaving Canada. At SFU, we strongly recommend students to obtain the Canadian COVID-19 proof of vaccination in addition to the BC vaccine card as soon as you arrive in Canada. The Canadian COVID-19 proof of vaccination is a reliable way to show proof of your COVID-19 vaccination history when traveling internationally and within Canada by air or rail. Take note that this proof does not guarantee you entry to another country. Please make sure to check your destination country's entry requirements before arranging your travel plans. Once you have arrived in BC, you should apply for a BC vaccine card and the federal Canadian COVID-19 proof of vaccination as soon as possible. The BC vaccine card will be required as proof of vaccination when you submit or update your vaccine declaration to SFU. Due to the recently discovered COVID-19 variant Omicron, the Government of Canada has announced that the foreign nationals, including international students who have been in any of the 10 following countries within the previous 14 days, will not be permitted entry into Canada. These measures are now in effect and will remain in place until January 31, 2022. Good news for those who are studying online from outside Canada. You can complete up to 100% of your studies online from outside Canada. All of the time spent studying online from outside Canada between spring 2020 and August 31st, 2022 will count towards the length of your postgrad work permit. Some of you may know that it was previously only until December 31, 2021. So this is definitely good news if you're a student who would like to continue studying online from outside Canada. If you're looking to connect with an international student advisor for questions about your immigration documents, work eligibility, medical insurance, and travel restrictions, you can reach us in a number of ways, including email, virtual, in-person appointments, virtual drop-in, live chat, which is an online messaging system, and phone advising. Another great resource, and probably the first one I would strongly encourage you to access when you have questions, is actually our website, where you can find the answers to most common questions. These are available 24/7, so we always recommend these self-guided resources as a first step to get your questions answered. I also included a barcode there, which you can scan using your phone, and you can bookmark this so you can view it later. That concludes my presentation, and we will now move on to the Q&A session. For those of you who are watching the recording of this presentation, thank you so much for joining us at the International Students Q&A Travel Update session. Jean, would you please end the recording now?